Hi, welcome. All right, I am Brittany with Birth It Forward, certified birth and bereavement doula, certified yoga instructor, and family photographer. Today, we're going to talk about the hospital procedures that you can expect before a cesarean birth. All right, so first things first, your admissions paperwork. When you arrive, if you haven't completed the admissions paperwork, you'll be asked to do so at that time. Generally, before, I mean, even if you've done your hospital admissions paperwork, when you go in for a C-section, you still have some paperwork to finish. So you'll be working through that as well. It's just like the various consent forms that you need to sign that explain the procedure, explain anesthesia and the associated risks with the procedure. And then the nurses will go over a medical review with you and confirm your medical history, including allergies, medications, and things like that prior to surgery. So you're also going to have something called a pre-surgical assessment. This is going to go over all of your vital signs. So blood pressure, heart rate, temperature, oxygen levels. It's all being taken and measured. That way they can get a baseline for during the surgery. And then they're also going to take a sample of your blood and go check your hemoglobin levels, what blood type, and its standard clotting ability. All right. So next, they're going to start preparing you for the surgery. They're going to place an IV in your hand or your arm, somewhere along those areas. Hopefully, they only have to do it once. And then they're going to make sure that you have something called a bolus. It is a full thing of fluids, a full bag of fluids that you'll need to have. This helps to balance your blood pressure out for when they give you the epidural, because the epidural has the potential to drop your blood pressure. So they want to make sure that you have plenty of fluids to do that. And then they're going to ask you the last time that you ate or drank, and make sure that your stomach is empty so that they can give you the anesthesia, which is usually an epidural or spinal prior to a C-section. The other thing they might put through your IV is some antibiotics, especially if you were GBS positive. Actually, maybe not GBS positive because you're not doing a vaginal birth, but they might give you some other medications to help prevent infection and just to help during the procedure. They will also place a catheter once they have placed the epidural or spinal. That usually comes about 20-30 minutes later, but they'll insert that to make sure that the bladder doesn't empty in the middle of the surgery. Okay, so they're going to prepare your skin and the site of where the C-section will take place. So sometimes they might have to shave the area. Usually the lower abdomen is shaved. And then they're also going to wipe it down with an antiseptic wipe. And let's see, like I said, you could have spinal or an epidural. Most cesareans are just done with a regional anesthesia, such as the spinal or an epidural. And that way, just the lower half of the body is kept kind of numb. Those who have it can still feel pressure, tugging and pulling and just movement in general. But they shouldn't be feeling pain. If there's pain, you need to let the anesthesia know so that they can adjust your medication levels. You should still be able to bond and have all of that with baby directly after the surgery as well. It's rare, but sometimes they have to do a general anesthesia. And this is done usually if there is an emergent situation, not just urgent, but emergent, where mom or baby's life is in danger and there's just not time to allow the epidural or spinal to take place. So they might put mom under general anesthesia. And in that case, dad would not go back, or the significant other, the support person, would not go back into the surgery. They would need to wait in the room because now we have an emergency that we need to take care of. Not we, but the doctors. In the operating room, you're going to have a bunch of monitors all around. You're going to have the OB, nurses. You're going to have a nurse for mom, a nurse for, usually it's like 1 to 2 nurses for baby. You might have a NICU nurse in there just in case for baby. And then you're going to have your anesthesiologist. And if they have an assistant, there's going to be a lot of people in the space. And then, of course, you have mom and her support person. So the monitors are going to be tracking the heart rate, blood pressure, oxygen levels. They took your baseline prior, so they can make sure that you're still within those general guidelines. They're going to make sure you're still breathing. They'll have an oxygen mask just in case they need to provide you with any oxygen. They're going to have a privacy screen for your belly, which you can ask to have a clear one or an opaque one. And then you're also going to have these SCDs, which are placed on your legs to help prevent from blood clots happening during and after the procedure. So mom is generally lying on her back on the operating table. And then usually the arms are strapped down at the elbow. So you're still able to move your arms in this way. That way you can kind of hold baby. But what they don't want you to do is to accidentally move your hands and knock something down below, potentially causing infection or something else. So they just keep mom kind of strapped in just so that any twitching or any movements, she can't move her hands down to block anything and potentially either hurt herself, the baby, or some staff. All right, so the support person, while in the hospital room, will be getting sterile. They have to wash their hands. They put booties on. They put scrubs on, like these plastic paper scrubs, these disposable ones. They have a hat. They kind of look pretty cute in all the gear. Cap, mask, gown, all the things. That way they can be as sterile as possible when going into this space, because this is going to be an open wound and we don't want any infection to happen. So it needs to be as sterile as possible. Okay. So as I said, you're going to have a lot of people in the room, your obstetrician who specializes in the surgery, your anesthesiologist, and the nurse who is also monitoring all of those things that we talked about with the monitors. And then you're going to have registered nurses and your respiratory therapist who is part of your surgical team. Sorry. Anyway, so the length of the surgery, the C-section actually doesn't take very long. It's only about 10 minutes between start time and once the baby is out. The part that takes the longest is repairing the incision. You've got lots of layers of tissue to go through between muscle and connective tissue. There's a lot of layers getting down into where baby is. So it takes a good amount to sew it all back together. And during that time, that can take anywhere from 60 to 90 minutes. During that time, pediatrics will check baby. Dad or the support person can hold baby. Mom can even start bonding with baby at this time. You're probably not going to start breastfeeding just because you're on your back and it's not a comfortable way to breastfeed. It's quite difficult. But you do have the ability to hold baby, snuggle, and be close and really begin that bonding process while still in the OR. They're going to finally double check everything, make sure they didn't leave anything in the space, make sure everything's sewn up properly, it's been cleaned, it's been bandaged, baby is healthy and strong and doesn't need to go to NICU. If that was the case, they would do that pretty quickly if baby needed to go to NICU. But they ultimately want to make sure everyone is safe and healthy and ready to go. Okay, so these are just some things that you can expect to occur in the hospital right before you go to get your cesarean section. These are mostly the same steps they're going to take in an urgent situation. Some of these are not going to happen in an emergent situation, but they can still potentially happen in an emergent situation. Most of the time, well, I can't say most of the time, but these are some good guidelines to help reduce any fear you might feel if you are considering a C-section for any reason. All right, well, you guys have a great day and we'll be here again next week.